Welcome back, my fellow adventurers, and as promised, here is my travel guide to Dominica. Easily confused with the Dominican Republic, this island, also known as the Commonwealth of Dominica, sits between Martinique and Guadeloupe in the Caribbean, and it deems itself the nature island. This is a must-go for any nature lover, outdoorsy, hiker type adventurer. One of the biggest questions that I always get asked is how to get there, because it isn't very easily accessible. But that's why this place seems to have been forgotten by time and tourism. I'm gonna link some information below right there. But basically, you've got a few options. So there's a ferry service available from some of the neighboring islands, but I found that to be quite expensive. There are some Caribbean airlines that do service Dominica. You just kind of have to check to see where you can get a cheap flight to. Some of them have alliances with US carriers. So for me personally, what I did flying from Florida, I got a really cheap flight to Barbados, and then I just got a connecting flight with Liats for myself. So I spent a few days in Barbados and then made my way on. So that was mine, but just see whatever works for you. It is going to have to be a connecting flight though. Once you're there, rent a car. So most of the activities are kind of around Roseau, which is the capital, but I really, really recommend getting a car and going out to explore. Because one of the cool things that you can do is you can take a tour of all the spots where Pirates of the Caribbean filmed. That's right, Pirates of the Caribbean filmed Dead Man's Chest all around the island, and anytime you rent a car, you get a map and it has all the spots noted. So we found this place, for example, which is where, they filmed that famous Johnny Depp being chased by cannibals scene. So that was really cool. And it's a great way to see this island because everything is just so picturesque, and I mean, every turn was breathtaking.
I'll wake you tomorrow before I leave, and the song I'll be singing will be this one indeed. This is as long as we go, I know you will be alright.
However, do beware, you have to be a confident driver. Because one, it is right-hand drive, and two, it's a lot of narrow and windy roads that go up and down hills, so definitely be sure that you are comfortable with that. But it is a great time, so I really recommend it. The infamous Boiling Lake hike. So this isn't for the faint of heart. It is quite an advanced hike. It is 12 miles and it'll take about 6 to 8 hours. It does involve a lot of uphill, going through forests, descending kind of down, climbing down some narrow pathways and rocks, and jumping over rivers, and going through the Valley of Desolation, which is just an incredible place, unlike anything I've ever seen, until you get to the Boiling Lake. It's just, you are out in nature, you are lost in nature. I highly, highly recommend it. Whale watching. Who knew, right? That you could go whale watching in the Caribbean. Well, basically, because of the geographical structure of the island, there's a very deep trench right next to it where you will get a lot of whale migration coming through. So you can basically see any type of whale there. However, they do have sperm whales that raise their young here, so you can actually see whales almost any time of the year. That makes this a wonderful place to go whale watching. I've never been whale watching before, and it was wonderful. We did see a sperm whale, and then we saw some pygmy killer whales. They chased away the sperm whales, so we didn't really see much else after that, but just a wonderful thing to do. You can also go diving if that's of interest to you. Some other tips and helpful things that I've learned is outside of Rizzo especially, cash points are very scarce. So one, make sure that you arrive with cash, and make sure that you have enough cash to last you throughout the day, because there are a lot of places that don't accept cards either. Be aware of that. And other than that, again, like I said, this is a nature lover's island. There are so many other hikes, waterfalls, trails to do, so it's just a nature lover's dream. And another point is that the locals and the guides are very likely to surprise you. So this island that most of us have never heard of, if you talk to any of the guides, they are so globally aware. Their knowledge of just international events and economic conditions is incredible. I mean, the types of conversations I had with our guide were fantastic, and it's a very humbling and mind-opening experience. So they will certainly surprise you, much like this island will. Those are the 5 things. I think that was 5. Something like that, whatever. Things that you need to know for getting to Dominica and getting the most out of your trip. If you have any questions, comment below, let me know. I'm happy to answer anything. Give this a thumbs up if it was helpful, and as always, subscribe, be good to one another, and keep adventuring.
Will I ever feel this light again?